Recent Calgary Flames 28th overall draft pick Matvei Gridin has made some interesting headlines as he will no longer be playing where he initially intended in this upcoming season. We're going to dive into the reasoning behind this revelation, and we'll do a quick little update on what the Flames have done in free agency this offseason. But first, I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I am Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family, and one part of the Flames Digest family I want to highlight today is our brothers and sisters from south of the border. Yes, happy 4th of July to all of the Americans out there. Now let's dive right into the hockey and talk about some gritty grades. As I said before, Matvei Gridin is the man we're talking about. Gritty seems like a perfect nickname for him. No, we're not talking about Gritty, the mascot of the Philadelphia Flyers, nor are we talking about the right foot great. Oh, but you know, I don't need to be doing a Fortnite dance. I'll leave it to Justin Jefferson to do that. But let's focus on the hockey here and talk about this man who was, of course, our 28th overall pick in this most recent draft, our second first rounder, who of course was from the trade with Elias Lindholm. Who did we pick up? It was Matvei Gridin from the Lumberjacks. And originally, a lot of people were a little bit skeptical about this pick, and then more people looked into it. You know, the leading scorer in the USHL, he's got quite a resume when you really look into it. But now we have a very strange, honestly, update that we need to take a look at. And it's been reported that Matvei Gridin is no longer going to the University of Michigan due to not having sufficient grades. He is expected to play in the QMJHL. So yes, he was originally supposed to go to the U of M, where I was thrilled that he was going there. We have seen the University of Michigan produce so many good hockey players, and most of them have been American. I'm not going to say all of them have been American, of course, but most of them have been American. Gridin, of course, is Russian. And I think before we start hating on this guy and calling him, you know, not the brightest bulb, it's probably so difficult to come to a different country and then have to learn the language. You know, English obviously is not his first language, and then keep your grades up so high that you can go to university. You know, so I do understand. We have one end of the spectrum in Zane Parekh, who, you know, as a 16-year-old was taking university courses and is just a child genius. And then we have Gridin on the other end, who won't be attending the U of M because of his grades. But I think it's more so we need to give it, you know, we need to give him the benefit of the doubt. Take it with a grain of salt. Look, English is not his first language. I think it would be so hard to go to a pretty esteemed university while not having that as your first language. So no harm, no foul there. He will still get some good development in the QMJHL, which should hopefully be good. A quick little update on that is that Flames prospect Gridin was just selected first overall in the CHL import draft by the Val d'Or Foreurs. So down in the queue, he'll be playing for Val d'Or, which is very good. It's not quite the developmental path. Is that right? I think so. That we initially wanted him to take. Same with him, of course. I'm sure it was pretty gutting for him, knowing that he wasn't able to continue going in the path he initially wanted. But either way, the Q, they've produced some great players. He'll still be getting some good experience down in the Q, and hopefully he really can become a very good player. But if we take one last look at something from this draft here, I really liked what this tweet had to say, and I wanted to show you guys. So it comes from Byron Bader, and he had to say in 2016, the Calgary Flames had one of their best drafts ever and greatly outdrafted their draft slot. They had an expected 1.5 stars and 3.6 NHLers, 0.25 stars and 2 NHLers was their draft slot. Essentially what that means is stars means a star player. You pick, you know, a home run pick where the player ends up being an absolute stud. And then an NHLer is just someone who is a regular NHLer, makes more than, you know, just a few appearances here and there. To continue the tweet now. Out of the draft, they got 2 superstars in Tkachuk and Fox. Yes, and they're both still Calgary Flames, aren't they? And 3 NHLers and change with Tkachuk, Fox, Dubé, and Phillips. Both of the ladders there, you know, aren't quite exactly regulars, one for maybe a bit of a different reason, but either way, in 2024, the Flames outdrafted their slot to an even greater degree, and we're already saying that before any of these guys have played an NHL game. They drafted 2.2 expected stars and 4 NHLers. 0.4 stars and 2.6 NHLers was their draft slot. This could be one for the ages. Yes, us Flames fans, we're already so happy. We're absolutely thrilled with how the draft went. But looking into maybe some even deeper analytics here, and I know, again, it's just projections, but either way, it's so exciting to know that we really did have just an insane draft, and there's so much real potential here with the players that we did pick up. I mean, how many steals were there in this draft? You could say Parekh dropping to 9th was insane. You know, Basha, Misa, there were so many steals, it seemed, and oh my goodness, I am just so excited to see these guys play. It really was a draft for the ages. Even if Gridin, you know, our late first rounder doesn't end up panning out the way we thought, there's still so much potential with some of these other guys. It was such a good draft. I'm still just so happy. And I know we as Flames fans are still so happy to talk about how that draft went. So let me know down below if you really think we will get that many stars or at least NHLers out of this draft. Now let's do a quick little free agency update because the Flames have been pretty quiet, but it has been for good reason that the Flames have been quiet on this front. So I believe if we take a look here, I know, I'm sorry, this isn't the best graphic. It's the only way I could get it in, and it looks as though my box at the bottom right there is going to be blocking it anyway. But this, if you tilt your head this way, is every team and where they are in terms of the salary cap right now. And it just shows that the Flames are doing this rebuild perfectly. They are at the far end of the right. I'm so sorry for blocking the Flames logo there. Top 10 disrespect moments in hockey. But either way, we have the most cap space currently at over $21 million, almost 22. And of course, that means we have the lowest cap hit as it currently stands. So much cap room to work around with still. And you know, with all the assets the Flames have, they could make a humongous trade here and pick up some good players if they were to go that route. Now, that being said, I think most people want them to continue on the path of the rebuild, and that would be super, super good and super fun. But either way, they are doing things perfectly right now. Craig Conroy brought a breath of fresh air compared to some former managerial teams, I guess we can say. But one thing we do need, of course, is an update on who we actually have been picking up. So with all this cap space, what have the Flames been doing? Well, they decided to pick up Justin Kirkland. And I gotta be honest, I had never even heard of this guy. I'm just being fully transparent there. But Justin Kirkland, oh my goodness, is he from Costco? He must be a Costco brand hockey player if his last name is Kirkland. And we see there from the Flames, welcome back to YYC. He was a member of this franchise, just never played for the Flames. I believe he played for the Stockton Heat. The Flames have signed for Justin Kirkland to a 1-year, 2-way contract. So again, another player who probably will not be coming up to the NHL level, but he did get to wear those nice Kachina jerseys while they still were a team, really. But either way, it's great that they're picking up more depth players because look, the Wranglers have also lost quite a few players, and Conroy needs to fill out that team as well, and they're just doing so well with these players that, of course, could come make a bit of a difference at the NHL level. I mean, just play some games, and then be good players down in the AAs as well. But as we always do, let's take a look at his stats. So as I said before, he was on the Stockton Heat, kind of, you know, early 2020s kind of thing, and then he got shipped out to the Anaheim Ducks, where he played 7 games and didn't register a single point. And then last season, he played 2 games with the Coyotes and also got 0 points. So this guy has a total of 9 games played in the NHL with 0 points. That is probably why I had never heard of him. But that being said, Justin, welcome back to this franchise. We are happy to have you. If you do end up playing at the NHL level, we will be cheering you on. And as you can see, they're not the worst stats in the AHL at all. Kind of, you know, a 2 points every 3 games sort of thing for the most part. Points every other game, you know, whatever. Either way, he can produce a little bit at some point. But either way, it's so good what the Flames are doing with their cap space and in free agency. No need to splash out huge contracts with term. The plan is going so well right now. It is being executed perfectly. And I think us Flames fans are very, very happy. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. Now, to talk about the end of the video, let's jump into the comment of the day, which is everyone's favorite part of the vids, I know. And this one was a good one here from our good old regular. Let's hop into what Guitar Memoir had to say. He said, I agree with you, Mark. Good job signing UFAs. It looks like Connie learned a lot from Tree Living on what not to do. And I know a lot of Leafs fans aren't happy when we rag on Tree Living, but look, he kind of blew up our entire franchise. I know the Leafs just signed a bunch of defensemen. We'll see how that pans out. But either way, we're allowed to be salty about Tree Living. I agree with you here on what not to do. Conroy will not do what Tree Living did. As for Martin Ferk, the dude needs to buy a vowel. I know, there's so many words we can make out of that name, and my goodness, having a name without any vowels, it's a little bit tougher on our North American mouths. But either way, thank you so much for commenting that. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe if you like what you saw here today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.